There are certain things that you can learn about trigonometry that makes the whole process a lot easier. And that is learning 4 special circles, the unit circle and the 3 important radian families that you need to know. So make sure that you follow along, grab a notebook, some special sheet of paper. These are going to be your easy cheat sheets that you're going to want to use for trigonometry. Let's go. In trigonometry, one of the things that you need to have down the most is labeling the unit circle and being able to label the unit circle in the most common radian measurements that are going to be used in trigonometry. So that's what I want to go over with you today. This is something that you want to have in your notes, you want to highlight, you want to have maybe on a special sheet of paper, maybe a colored sheet of paper, something that you won't forget. These 4 circles that I'm about to show you are the most important and the most common ones that you will use throughout your trigonometry experience. So today, the first thing we're going to start with is the basic unit circle. And when I'm talking about a unit circle, the unit circle starts with a measurement of 1 in each x, y direction. So the first thing we're going to do on this unit circle is label our coordinate pairs, our x, y coordinate pairs. So being that this is a unit circle, we're going to start with these 4 points for our xy ordered pairs. So our xy ordered pair over here, our x value went out 1, our y value is 0. Up here we have a 0x value and 1 for our y. Over to the left, it's a -1 for our x, 0 for our y. And down at the bottom, we have 0x, -1 for our y value. So those are the coordinate points, the ordered pairs for x, y for your unit circle. Next, let's go into labeling degrees because that's usually a little easier since it's something we're familiar with. If you remember, we start here at 0 degrees. Our full circle, remember, goes around counterclockwise, is 360 degrees. That means half of our circle is over here at 180 degrees. So half between 0 and 80, we have 90 degrees up at the top. And then halfway between 180 and 360, down here we have 270 degrees. So far, that should be pretty basic and something that you get. Now let's talk about radians. If you're not familiar with radians, make sure that you check out my other video talking all about radians and how to do conversions with radians as well. So now we're going to go through our unit circle and label with radians. At this point here, this is 0 radians. Again, going counterclockwise all around the circle, this point over here is 2 pi. That is our radian measurement for an entire circle. So what's half of that between 0 and 2 pi? Good, is 1 pi. So over here at 180 degrees, this part is pi. That is our radian measurement. Half between 0 and pi is 1/2, which is half pi. So up here at the top, we have pi over 2. That's our measurement at the top. And then at the bottom, between 1 pi and 2 pi, we have 3 pi over 2. So down here at the bottom is 3 pi over 2. So these are all the points on the basic unit circle that you are definitely going to want to know. Now we're going to check out the 3 common radian families that you're going to need to be able to identify on a unit circle to do trigonometry with sine, cosine, and tangent. The first radian family I want to talk about is the radians of 4s. That's 45 degrees, and it's also pi over 4 in radians. The reason we're going to call this the family of 4s is because we're splitting up each semicircle, so the top half of the circle, into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. And that's why we call this one the family of 4s. Plus, it's pi over 4 and 45 degrees. So all the 4s kind of go together, and that helps us remember how to split this circle up. So let's go ahead and start labeling our unit circle. The first thing we know is that this is always 0. Over here on the left-hand side, we have pi, and then all the way around, we have 2 pi. We know that the top of the circle is pi over 2, and we know that the bottom of the circle is 3 pi over 2. So now we need to go in and label our pi over 4. So the pi over 4, if you think about this, 0 and 1/2. Okay, ignore the pi part for a minute. 0 and 1/2. What's half between 0 and 1/2? Well, that's 1/4. So this is your pi over 4. Now technically, if you want to think about it this way, this piece is really 2 pi over 4. It's just reduced down to pi over 2. So that makes this piece over here 3 pi over 4, because this pi piece is really 4 pi over 4. So if you notice at the top point and at the left-hand side, those are going to be reduced fractions that match your unit circle that we did on the first page. Otherwise, you just follow 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4, 3 pi over 4, 4 pi over 4, which makes this what? Exactly, 5 pi over 4. Then this would technically be 6 pi over 4, but again, it's been reduced. And then 7 pi over 4, and of course, 8 pi over 4 reduces to 2 pi. So this is how you would label your unit circle in your family of 4s of pi over 4. Again, make sure you have this on a separate sheet of paper, on a colored sheet of paper, somewhere where you won't forget it, but this is your pi over 4 family and how you label it along the unit circle. Now we have another famous family in radians that we label on our unit circle, okay? 60 degrees, we need to figure out what that is in radians. And if you're not sure, you can go back to my radians video and figure out how to convert. But for now, I'm just going to tell you, it is pi over 3. So this is the family of 3s that we're going to talk about. And if you look on the board, you will see I'm going to break up the first half. This is one section, this is the second section, and this is the third section. And that's why we call it the family of 3s. 3 sections in the top half of that circle, and it's pi over 3. So let's label the points we know. 0. We don't need to label pi over 2 for this one because that's in the middle of one of our sections, so I'm just going to leave that for now. But we're going to have pi, I'm not going to label the bottom, and we've got 2 pi over here. Since we're doing the family of 3s, this is going to be pi over 3. So 1 pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, and of course over here is 3 pi over 3, which again reduces down to pi. Then down here, we're just going to continue. 1 pi over 3, 2 pi over 3, 3 pi over 3. This spot would be 4 pi over 3. Then we have 5 pi over 3. And then this 2 pi is reduced down from 6 pi over 3. So this is your family of 3s. The only tricky part is remembering that the pi over 3 is 60 degrees. So that's the part you have to remember, but hopefully you can remember that 1/3 is a bigger angle. So that's why it'll be a 60-degree angle. So again, this is your pi over 3 family. Make sure you have this down in a separate sheet of paper. These points along the circle will be used a lot when you're doing sine, cosine, and tangent. Make sure you watch my video to figure out how those all connect. So we have one other special family that we have to talk about in terms of radians and the unit circle. And this one is the 30 degrees. And that is pi over 6 radians. So this is our family of 6s that we're going to do. And hopefully you can see the reason why this is a family of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're breaking that circle, that top part of the circle, into 6 pieces. And that is because, again, we have 0 here. We'll have pi over here and 2 pi over here. So this side will be 6 pi over 6, which means halfway between 0 and 6 pi, this has to be 3 pi over 6, which of course you know will reduce down to pi over 2. Right? So we have to have those fractions, and we have to make sure that we reduce those. So now we can go ahead and label in terms of pi over 6. So now we have pi over 6, that's 1 pi over 6. We have 2 pi over 6. Oh, do you see something with that? This will reduce to pi over 3. Oh, very interesting. So let's start again. 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6, and 5 pi over 6, 6 pi over 6, right? And notice that 4 pi over 6 will reduce down to 2 pi over 3. So what you're going to notice is that we're going to have the pi over 3 family within our pi over 6 family. So now I'm going to go ahead and finish labeling the unit circle, and then we'll also reduce to show you where the pi over 3 family shows up in the bottom half of our circle as well. All right, so we ended over here at 6 pi over 6, which makes this pi 7 pi over 6, 8 pi over 6, 9 pi over 6, 10 pi over 6, 11 pi over 6, and of course 12 pi over 6. Of course, this reduces down to pi over 2. Your 10 pi over 6 will reduce down to 5 pi over 3. Your 8 pi over 6 will reduce down to 4 pi over 3. And our 9 pi over 6 will reduce down to 3 pi over 2. So we have these in our pi over 3 family. So this one has a lot of everything in it. It has our basic unit circle, pi over 2, 3 pi over 2 at the top and at the bottom. And it also have our pi over 3 family all included in the 6 family. So I know that is a lot, but these are things, if you have this basic unit circle down and you can memorize where these places go, or again, just go based off of where pi is and 2 pi is, and then break it down depending on what the family is and how many pieces are across the top, you will always be able to find these pieces on your unit circle. Hopefully this video helped get you set up with all the unit circles you're going to need. Make sure you check out my videos on degrees and radians if you need help with those, or sine, cosine, and tangent, learning how to use those trigonometry functions with these radians. I will teach you how to do that. Please share this video with another friend that you might know who's struggling with trigonometry.